What's up, everybody? How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you living? My name is Candace Wiggins, and this is the Wiggins Wager. I will be joined from time to time by a very special guest of mine, my older brother, Alan. So, what's going on? What's the deal? Well, haven't you heard? Tonight, there's a huge game happening. Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA playoffs. The Golden State Warriors will be hosting the Houston Rockets. And a lot's at stake here because it's the game 3, so a lot can change. There can be lots of momentum shifts. Many things can happen. There's a lot of elements that we don't know about, and we don't want to be caught off by surprise. So this show is actually geared to help you help yourself make the best bet. Okay? So here on this show, we will be answering 3 critical questions. 1, who's going to win and why? 2, how many points will be scored and why? And finally, 3, the margin of victory, point spread. In addition to this, we will also provide helpful commentary on players that we have identified as the keys to their team's success. Here, we value facts first, and we fill in the gaps with our opinions so that you may be well prepared to make the best decision and enjoy the outcome of the game no matter what it is. All right, let's have a conversation. All right, so first things first, who's going to win and why? Well, this one's a little bit easy. I think that it's pretty safe to say that the Warriors will win. And I think that that's an easy call to make. That it's an easier call to make than any other call that has been made throughout the series so far, just because of the nature of how it works in home versus away. So the first 2 games of the series, the Warriors were on the road, and now they're coming home. It's just almost inevitable, I believe, that they're going to win. Now, the issue isn't going to be who's going to win, if the Warriors are going to win, because I really do believe that the Warriors will win this game. In my opinion, the question is by how many? How many points are they going to win? How are they going to win? What kind of win is it going to be? Is it going to be an easy win or is it going to be a tough win? That's more what we should be thinking about when we think about game 3 of this particular series. So, with that said, let's talk about why. Why are the Warriors going to win? And why do I think they're going to win so easily? Well, there's a couple of factors here, but the number one factor is one that actually my brother pointed out to me, and he explained how he saw that the Warriors have a playoffs home winning streak record tied the longest winning streak in the NBA, tied 15 games. Okay, so a 15-game home winning streak is just very, very, very hard to bet against or wager against. You know, you're really talking about a team who understands the formula that they need to win the game. So I think that's pretty much the number one reason why I feel that way, because that's a statistic that's going to let you know and show you the consistency that these Warriors play with, especially at home. But one of the biggest reasons why I believe that the Warriors will win is actually taken from an article that I had read on ESPN, and the article was written by Baxter Holmes, and the article is called "The Turbo Button," so you can check it out if you like to read it. It's a very good read, kind of talking about the marvel that is the Golden State Warriors and how they kind of just come at you, and no one knows when to expect it, no one knows where it's coming from. Even the players themselves can't even predict where it's coming from. Oh, but it comes, okay? And one of those things, and first of all, before I continue with this, let me just get one thing straight. I know for a fact that the Houston Rockets are not scared of the Warriors. They're not scared. In this article that Holmes wrote, he was talking about how a lot of players would even identify their fears against the Warriors, and they would talk about how they really were, as hard as it is for an athlete to admit, they were really scared. But I don't give that to the Rockets. I think the Rockets are not scared of the Warriors at all. They are ready for this challenge, and they have the greatest leader in Chris Paul and James Harden as well. They're not going to be scared of this team. But with that said, I still believe the turbo button might be a little bit too turned up this game for anything to happen to cause any change. So here's a couple of quotes from the article that stood out to me. But it has happened enough that the team believes that when they're talking about avalanche. So basically, they describe when the Warriors come at you unexpectedly, it really is like an avalanche. There's nothing you can really do about it. You're kind of at their mercy. So this is one of the things that was talked about in the article. It says, but it has happened enough that the team believes that one avalanche will arrive at some point. So the team believes. That was really what was the underlining factor to me. This Golden State Warriors team believes that they will have an avalanche at one point. So just that belief alone, it just makes it where you really can't, the control is really up to them because they believe they have the power. So they're going to put their will onto that. They're going to make sure that that moment happens for them. And you can't really stop those moments. And then another part of the article that I thought was interesting that really pertains to this particular game was, you're looking for patterns. You're always trying to look for patterns against the Warriors. A lot of coaches are looking for what pattern they can break or what can make, shift, whatever kind of thing they can do strategically. And here's what they said about that. You'll succumb to the scariest notion. There is no pattern at all. There is no pattern for this Warriors team when they hit that turbo button. It kind of happens, and they describe in the article. It just describes these they call them burst, 30-second. They're like these 30-second runs that skyrocket a team's chance. This is just a general speaking. Burst are considered 30-second runs that skyrocket a team's chance to success. Okay, and so they have these 30-second bursts that no one can identify, no one can stop. And then they've got these 37 third quarter knockouts. Basically, it occurs when the team has a greater than 90% chance to win the game at the end of this burst. So you've got the burst and you've got the knockouts, right? So that's really what the Warriors game is. They're all about bursts, and they believe that they keep coming, and if they maintain, they know that at a certain point they're going to hit some vulnerability. And when they hit that vulnerability, they'll be able to identify it and keep attacking it. And they're relentless with this, okay? And so basically I would just say, a team like the Rockets, who were actually built and designed to come at the Warriors, they're going to be best suited to try to fight these bursts and these knockouts. But I just feel like, especially at this point, it's really going to be difficult for the Rockets to match that. Now, here's the last thing that I'll say as to why the Warriors are going to win. Nothing, no skill, no talent, no coaching, nothing can outperform the power of redemption. And that's what the Warriors are at right now. They're actually the underdog. They're the second seed. They're playing at home for the first time. They love the Bay Area. The Bay Area loves them. The energy is just ridiculous, and there's nothing that can compete with the power of redemption. So the reason why I personally believe that the Warriors will win this game tonight is because the redemption power is too strong in their favor. There's too many factors that are going in their favor that have to do with the redeeming quality that they want to redeem the loss that they just suffered. As an athlete, there's no other loss that you remember more than the one you just suffered. So they have that in the back of their minds, and I believe that will be the motivating factor that they're going to be using in order to drive themselves. And that's a very, very scary Warriors, because they're already driven, but now that they have redemption on their side and the underdog mentality, something that they enjoy, they will definitely be using that tonight. Okay, so moving on to more numbers. So part 2 is how many points will be scored and why. So Allen predicts that it'll be 223. That's his number. That's his big overall number, what the point total will be completely for both teams. And my number is 235. And basically, I believe that it's going to be this number because I think it's going to be a wildly fast-paced game where everyone is just on point, making their shots. It's a very, very important game. It's almost like a new beginning in a lot of ways. And I believe that new beginnings in series drive the points up because people just feel like they have a fresh chance at it. So those are our numbers. Again, Allen is at 223 points and I am at 235. So part 3, point spread, the margin of victory. So Allen's numbers factor out to 118 to 105 in favor of the Warriors. So that's a plus 13 margin of victory. And I predict it will be 122 to 113, which is a plus 9 margin of victory for the Warriors. The spread on the game is Warriors plus 7. So both my brother and I both believe that the Warriors will actually outperform the spread. The reason why I believe this is I believe that it will be a very high scoring game. I believe that both the Rockets now, they do have the number 1 seed. So you cannot underestimate the confidence that a team that has earned the number 1 seed in the regular season over the Golden State Warriors, you can never underestimate the way that they will perform. And I believe that they will actually do very, very well. Okay, so quickly we're going to wrap it up by just talking about some key players that we identified that we believe will be the keys to their team's success throughout this game. So what I believe, first and foremost, in my opinion, after a loss, all eyes are going to be on the Warriors' stars. Okay, so, let's just put aside all the role players because all that's off. We're putting all of it on to their star players. And their star players, I believe, are going to come out. Starting with Klay Thompson. I think that is the first person that is the key for the Golden State Warriors. I think that he is due for a monster game. I think that he is going to be the reason why the Warriors win the way that they do. Okay, Steph Curry, there's some questions there, of course, with his injury, but he was being targeted a lot in the series, and he's going to keep being targeted. They see it, they trying to detect a weakness in his game, but as my big brother said earlier to me today, Steph Curry, as long as he's playing, he's deadly. There's no way to really guard Steph. Even with his injury, there's no weaknesses because he is so strong mentally and his game is so adaptable and so adjustable and the system is so conveniently works for him where, it's really not, I don't think his injury is going to hamper him. In fact, I think it's only going to empower him to be even more special than he usually is. So I think you're going to see a very special Stephen Curry tonight. Also a very revitalized Klay Thompson, who's going to have a monster game, I believe. And then finally, I was talking to my brother about Kevin Durant, and we were just thinking about what does Kevin Durant really have to do in order for the team to be successful. And these are the notes that my brother had for Kevin Durant. He feels as though Kevin Durant, in order for them to be successful and in order for them to really have the kind of impact that they want in this game, the Warriors, Kevin Durant he shouldn't settle for jumpers right away. Early on, he cannot settle for jumpers. He has to start the game attacking the basket and really looking for his shot close to the rim. And I know that will make the basket big for him. And once that happens, it's going to be over. So really, when you're watching Kevin Durant play in this game, really watch how he attacks the basket in the beginning. Watch how aggressive he is, because that's really going to set the tone as to how the Warriors play. So if he's sitting back, shooting jump shots, it might be a little bit of a different outcome than if he's right there in aggressive mode, attacking right away. Now on to the Rockets. So the Rockets, their key players are James Harden and Chris Paul. And James Harden is going to do his thing. We all know he's going to do his thing. And my brother predicted that he will probably score around 30 points. I think that's a pretty good guess. I mean, you basically know that no matter what happens with the Rockets, James Harden is going to do his thing. And so is Chris Paul, who is absolutely just such a phenomenal leader for them. And there's no stopping Chris Paul. And, a lot of times there's this debate as to who plays better on the road. These guys, some role players, they don't play well on the road. They play really well at home. But Chris Paul is the type of player who plays well at home, plays sometimes better on the road. There really is no thing that dictates the way he plays. So I know that Chris Paul is going to be incredible. And I predict he'll have around maybe 23 points, lots of assists. I mean, I don't even want to predict how many assists he's going to have. He's going to make sure his teammates are set up. He's just going to bring it. He's going to bring it the best. And this might actually be that we might see peak Chris Paul in this game, because it just is such a important game to set a tone. And I know that he knows that. This is his first time in the Western Conference Finals. This is his moment, and he was made and built for this moment. And the only question is, will it be enough? That's the question that those who are betting on the Rockets, if you want to put your wager on the Rockets, ask yourself this question: is Chris Paul enough? Because you know he's going to be the leader. You know he's going to bring it. You know he's not going to let them fall, but will it be enough? And my brother actually brought up one more person that he felt was really, really important to the whole formula for the Rockets, and that is Eric Gordon. And he feels like he's been slept on for a lot in this series. And my brother really believes that Eric Gordon will be the key to their success and the victory. And just don't sleep on him, okay? Because he is the X factor in this whole series. And we'll see. All right. That concludes the very first episode of The Wiggins Wager with your host, Candace Wiggins. Check back in the next NBA playoffs game, and we'll have another conversation. Thank you.